I'm gonna can these today. I am not the best of peeling pineapples, but I give it my best. That's all we can do, right? So definitely cut off the top. And the bottom, maybe. So what I'm going to try to do is save some of this because I want to juice these and use that for canning. I will put them into the spot and use my juicer to get the juices out. So yeah, pineapple always going to have a lot of waste, no matter what you do, I think. You're going to want to cut out these brown spots. Yet I don't want to waste too much. I'm gonna have to cut some off this end still, maybe. I will see. Definitely some of these I will save for juicing. And I forgot to mention, I did wash these when I brought them home, so that will allow me to juice the skin. Do small angles. Just to get those off. And some from here. So I'm going to save all that, as I said. So I think that's good enough, because I would eat that. I'm going to just put everything in this bucket for now. And now I have to core it. Now the core is going to definitely give me a lot of juice, I think. So what I'm going to do is quarter them. And then I can see where the core is, so I'm going to just cut it straight down. And this is all edible. Of course, this will be juiced. And I'm going to cut them into the sizes that I want to eat. I actually think that might be even too big. I like them a little small. So each quarter will be quartered. And then half an inch. I kind of like that size that I can eat with one bite. It's so juicy. It's making me hungry. So again, gonna want to make it even. Slippery. So I'll repeat that for the other 3, and I'll bring you back when I'm ready to do some juicing. I got a good 5-quart, I think. This is an 8-quart pot, so I'm just guessing. So I'm gonna go ahead and sterilize my jars, the 5-quart size, and maybe I'll do some pints as well. I'm gonna sterilize the jars in a 215 oven for 15 minutes. And now I'm ready to do the juicing. First, I'm just gonna do the pulpy pieces before I do the skin, because I don't know how the skin will taste, and if I don't like it, I'm not gonna do it. I'll put it in. That's excellent. Sweet and sour, as you would expect it. I suspect that if I have 5 quarts of pineapples, that I'm gonna, for the minimum, need at least 5 cups of juice, right? And if I don't even have enough, that's all good. I can just make some simple syrup and can it in that. All this foamy stuff I'm gonna throw out. So I'm gonna go ahead and juice the rest of it. I'll work through it and let you know how much juice I get from the pulp and how much juice I get from the peel after I'm done. So from the pulp, I got about 3 cups of juice out of 4 pineapples. And from the peel, I got over 4 cups, probably I would say 4.5 cups of green juice. However, I did taste this and it really tastes really good. It does taste good. It's less sweet than this, but as far as the taste, it's not affected by the green part. So unless you're put off by the color of the greenness in your canning, you can use this part as well for your canning process. So I'm gonna do that, just that. I'm gonna mix these two. And of course it stays green, but this is what's gonna be my canning liquid. It's delightful. So I'm gonna go ahead and boil this up, ready for canning. And I just wanted to show you the waste that I got out of those 4 pineapples. It's just the pulp and the leaves, right? This will all go to the compost pile. I think I'm ready to can now. I'm gonna put my lids and rings into hot water. And I'm gonna take out my jars from the oven where they were sterilizing for 15 minutes on 215. So I don't know if I'm gonna have enough for 5 quarts, but I did sterilize a couple of pints just in case if I want to make some of those. So we'll find out. I'm gonna fill this up about half an inch from the top, so that's a little bit above the bottom of my funnel. Just a little bit. And I can push down on it a little bit just to fill it up nicely. Because my pineapples are cold technically, I will be using the cold pack method when I water that can, which means for quarts that's 30 minutes. If I did the hot pack, then I only have to do 25 minutes. So there's not much difference. And I did boiled up my juice only because I want to make sure that's kind of in a way sterilized. It's not really sterilized, but I think it's just gonna give it a better head start. Especially because I juiced the peels, although I washed them. I kind of want to make sure that everything is nice and sanitary. So that's enough in that one. Okay. I think what's left may not fill a quart. So I'm gonna take a pint out of the oven, put this aside. And try to use that instead. So now I'm gonna ladle in my juice. Again, just a half an inch from the top. Actually, after I heated this up, the juice is not as green as I thought it would be. So actually it doesn't look so bad. We'll see how that turns out at the very end. I'm gonna start filling these up too because I don't know if I'm gonna have enough juice, and I may have to make a little bit of simple syrup to fill the voids, but I think I may have enough. I don't know. I'm gonna just try to evenly divide it. I actually had some leftover juice, so we did good. Now I have to debubble these with this wooden spoon handle. Just try to push down on the sides to push out any air bubbles that might be in there. As you can see, the level of my juice actually went down. So I'm gonna have to top that off. And this may have too much, so too many pineapples. So I'm gonna take some out for snacks later. There we go. And put some more juice in here. Looks good. Definitely I trapped some air bubbles because the liquid level is going down. That tells you. Then I push these back. This is too many. You don't want this to push up your lids. And this is too many. That's good. A little more juice in these. The rims have to be cleaned up. And I'm just using a wet paper towel to clean off the rims and the threads, because you want to be able to screw on the rings without stickiness underneath. That's possible. Not just the stickiness, but there are some little pieces of pineapple. You don't want that underneath to prevent the seal. So take your time wiping these. Okay, now I'm happy with the rims. Now I'm gonna go ahead and take out the lids, put them on from the hot water, and the ring. And tighten up the ring so it holds down the lid just enough so it will make a seal. And put that into the water bath canner. your canning water should be really the temperature that your jars are. And in this case, they're not very, very hot. Let's hope I'm not gonna break a jar. But my jars are not like cold, so they're nice and warm for sure. And here's my pint. Lastly, so here's my canner filled up with 4 quarts and 1 pint. And the water level should be at least an inch or 2 above the top of your jars. And some people tell you otherwise, but that works for me, so I'm doing it that way. So this one needs a little bit more water. And remember, I was soaking my lids in the hot water, so I'm gonna just pour that in here to top it off. And I'm gonna bring this to boil. I do have a little bit of vinegar in the water, in the boiling water, only because that prevents the jars to get cloudy from the hot water. Put the top on. Once they come to boil, I'm gonna start timing for, as I said, 30 minutes. So see you back when I take these out. So I just took out the jars from the canner. I did have a jar that cracked, and that can happen occasionally. I've been canning for 10 years now, and I think this was my 3rd time where I had a broken jar. So here are the completed canned pineapple jars. They're still hot. What you want to do is just let them cool off all the way through. That may take the whole day, who knows. I usually just leave them here for overnight. And then once they had cooled off totally, I will take off the rings. I do not store with the rings. I reuse them. And I will wash them, because especially now that I had a broken jar, they're all kind of dirty outside. But regardless, I always wash my jars because I want to store them long term, and I don't want anything go rotten on the outside of it, right? So then I'm going to put a date on it, and we'll go into long-term storage. Now, as it cools, you will hear them pinging. The pinging is when they seal. So don't get discouraged if they're still not sealed, although these are all sealed, because sometimes it takes a while, as long as half an hour could be, before they ping down. And if tomorrow morning it's still not sealed, then you just put that into the refrigerator and eat it. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.